Every now and then I get a hyperfixation that completely stops me in my tracks, and right now it's the Super Bowl halftime show. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I made this and tell you what I thought about the performance. So I always start off with a sketch. It just makes sculpting a lot easier, especially when you're trying out a new style like this. But I've been a Bad Bunny fan for years. He was one of those artists that I listened to when I went through the worst breakup in my life. They say that when you're 19 years old, this guy's going to come into your life and absolutely ruin it. And I don't know if that's true for everybody, but that was definitely the case for me. But that's just one of the times where his music helped me through a dark period in my life. You know, I was such a big fan. I even dressed up as him one year for Halloween. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I did feel like a proud abuelita when I was watching the Super Bowl, because it really hit me how far he's come, you know, since I first started listening to him, from Ahora Soy Peor or Crispy Kush. And when he turned to the screen and said, "You should believe in yourself. You matter a lot more than you think. Like, look at where I got." Oh my God, that spoke straight to my soul. Like, we were having a conversation on TV and I was instantly inspired. I felt a flame like I have not felt in years. And that's not to say that I haven't been inspired by other things, but this was different because it was so much more than a performance. Now, I tend to over support my models. It just helps prevent any failures, and in my opinion decreases the chances of the print falling. And although it is great to have that safety net, I cannot say the same thing about real life. And it's becoming more and more evident to me as I continue growing and evolving as an artist that you just can't grow within your comfort zone. And we hear that all the time, but to really sit down and conceptualize that, you have to be willing to let yourself make what some people might consider as bad art. But then there's that element of perfectionism that social media definitely doesn't help, and that could even tie into people pleasing. And if you want to grow and discover yourself, you have to be okay with the fact that you're going to be the bad guy in some people's book. And you'll never feel whole if you continue to try to make yourself palatable for everybody. You deserve to be here just as much as everybody else. It took me years to get to where I am, not only with my self-esteem, but also with embracing my roots and my culture. I was bullied so much in school for being one of the few Latino kids, at least before I switched to another school, but it was so bad to the point where I failed Spanish because I pretended I couldn't speak Spanish. They would make fun of my accent, which I ended up fixing, the food that my mom would bring me, and I didn't have the best relationship with my parents, so I didn't really feel comfortable turning to them for this. So I was on my own here, and nobody was really helping me. So unfortunately, my mental health was not the best, and I ended up giving into it. I shunned that part of myself until my parents switched me to another school where everybody was pretty much Latino, and that's when I started to feel that urge to look more into my culture. But what happened, a lot of the people that I grew up around and my family, let's just say that they were on the traditional side. My views and beliefs were very, very radically different. But Bad Bunny was one of those artists that I discovered where somebody described it perfectly. It's almost as if he was bridging the gap between the old generation and the new generation. And visibility is such a beautiful and powerful thing. I could not stop crying when I was watching the Super Bowl. And he took that opportunity to not only showcase Puerto Rican culture, but how beautiful and diverse all of us Latinos are. We needed that sense of unity, especially now with everything that's going on with ICE tearing apart families and terrorizing the community. We need to stand together. To be an artist is to be political. We have the power to invoke emotions, just like Bad Bunny's halftime show.